Hey, it's Rory, and today we are going to be discussing why we as a society for a very long time glorified the old money lifestyle. I'm not even going to pause and give a long winded stuff. I'm just going to say we know the reason why they glorified, okay? It's because social media has made it a huge thing to praise them for their wealth, which is associated with good morals. It is the same thing with aestheticism and Dorian Gray. It is with the same thing as the Victorian society and the obsession with beauty. We fall prey to those exact same things. But today, I'm not going to highlight the negative problems associated with the old money lifestyle. I feel like there's a lot of videos out there explaining that exact same concept in the exact same way. So there's no need to add on to that conversation. So today, we're going to be having a completely different conversation, such as the values of the old money lifestyle. Why do we glorify the old money lifestyle despite us being so far removed from being old money? For example, if you're watching this video, you're likely not old money. I mean, I don't know, but it just doesn't sound plausible, right? Like, old money people are like in a completely different world than the rest of us. They live a completely different life, they see completely different things than what we do. So, why do we, even though they are so far, far away from where we are, why do we still glorify them? Okay, so I'm going to bring up a few points. The first reason why we glorify them is because we want to have that feeling of abundance and comfort. The comfort that wealth brings people. Wealth can bring you an amazing amount of comfort, especially for it's escapist almost for most people who are not living a life of wealth. If you are in poverty, if you are living in, not to be rude, but if you are living in an apartment, if you're living in a certain life that you don't like, and you have to work a 9 to 5 job every day, and it's the same thing over and over, and it's redundant and boring and so many different issues, right? Like, I don't have to explain why there's an issue with poverty and why people are not comfortable being in a state of poverty, right? Like, this, it's a negative association, right? So when we look at those people who are so far removed from the rest of us, right? Like, they have all their material needs met, never a day of hunger, full fridge. If they're failing a class, they can just hire a tutor or get someone to come into their home. They can even buy their way into passing all of their classes. In fact, they don't even need to pass their classes because they have enough wealth accumulated. They don't need to study like the rest of us. They don't even have to do anything. They can just do nothing and then still be wealthy. Yet they choose not to do that, right? That's probably part of the reason why we glorify the old money lifestyle. They choose to go out, they choose to have lives, they choose to entertain themselves. But that's also why you see people in the old money lifestyle getting up to so much trouble, and why sports and good values and private schools are important for them. Because if they did not have that, then they would not have healthy moral values. Wealth takes people away from morals. We know this. There's a problem with wealthy people lacking morals. But that's not what we're talking about today. We're talking about the goods. I'll make a video about the bad, but like, I'm just saying, the way that our world is set up nowadays, the feeling of abundance, it feels so amazing to look at. Like, what would it be like if you were born into such a family where you were met with a constant influx of wealth, and everyone around you was wealthy, and every single thing that you're surrounded by, comfort, luxury, abundance. Like, I understand why it's romanticized. That's why. It's because people aspire after that. It's aspirational to have so much wealth, and everyone would like to know what it would be like to just be born into that kind of wealth. That's why people have obsessions with being wanting to be princesses when they're younger, right? Like, that's just how people are. We just want wealth, we want good things for ourselves, so we imagine that if we had that lifestyle, it would give us these positive things. Another reason why old money lifestyle is romanticized and glorified is for the way they dress. Obviously, it was a massive trend on the internet with people looking at the modest and luxurious clothing of the old money lifestyle. Some people are naturally quiet and introverted, and they really enjoy the fashion sense. I mean, it's trickling down into regular fashion sense. People are now dressing a lot more simply, less logos, stuff like that. They're dressing a lot more like average. The old money lifestyle dresses sort of average, but like they elevate their basics, they get expensive brands and stuff like that. It's like wealth, but like quiet, right? That's what the whole quiet luxury movement was about. It's like, it's not ostentatious displays of wealth. It's quiet, but like loud at the same time. Like, it's so quiet, it screams. Like, you know that saying where people are like, silence is very, very loud, like it's ear deafening. It's the same thing, right? But the reason why it's glorified is because it's modest, it has a lot of coverage, it doesn't look too flashy. It looks like you can just go about your day to day life and you wouldn't be recognized. I mean, well, sometimes it's very blatantly obvious, right? Like I'm saying, um, sometimes it's very quiet, other times that silence does the exact opposite, and it just makes it very, very obvious. Like, yeah, like you know how to spot someone who is from the old money lifestyle, right? Like it's so obvious, it's so in your face, it's right there, right? You know, so uh, they. I feel like it's romanticized for being quiet, but then it's not quiet. But I'm not gonna have that discussion. I'm just saying the reason why people glorify it is because of the modesty. The third reason why the old money lifestyle is valued, is glorified, is because of the familial values that they have. They're very family oriented. For example, the whole point of private school is that parents have to spend time with their kids. They have to take time off of work in order to invest into their kids. They have to attend different meetings, sports, and stuff like that. They have like they have a life. They have hobbies, and these old money lifestyles. Whenever you see them online, you always see that it's with like pictures of happy families, of mothers taking care of their children, of romanticized relationships and partnerships and stuff like that. Like this is what people value. This is what people want when they look at the old money lifestyle. When you look at Princess Charlotte or any of the royal family members or anything like that, you see this romanticization of wealth, etc. Like this is what people. Sorry for the interruption. But what I was saying was the reason why we glorify these values is when you look at princesses, right? Like they're the definition of old money. When you look at Princess Charlotte and those royal families, or was that those two Swedish princesses? Basically, right, we want those exact same values. We want that family orientated system. We want that like nuclear family vibes. So when we go online and we see the glorification of old money, and we see these kids in their perfect families with their good family orientated systems, we start to want to aspire to be exactly like them. And I saw a lot of people who were glorifying the old money lifestyle were actually just glorifying having a good partner and beautiful kids and romanticized family systems and family dynamics. So what we're actually seeking when we're looking at these people is we're seeking out our internal values and our internal like our internal compasses and what we aspire after. So, in summary, it's basically like classism and elitism. It's like the more money you have, the better you are. If you don't have money, then you can't have the following things, such as good family systems and good morals and good clothes, good money, good wealth. And that's why people aspire after the old money lifestyle, and that is also why we glorified them as a society. I know that this video hasn't exactly been complete, so I might create a part 2 where I go more into depth, but what I basically wanted to explain was how each of these values are intertwined and why people glorify them for a short, well, it's not a short, I think they're still busy glorifying them. I mean, if you go on Pinterest, they're still all over the place. They're still getting plenty of views, still getting plenty of life, especially with more people aspiring, more teenagers, more 20-year-olds wanting this exact lifestyle that the old money lifestyle portrays and hoping that they could one day have it. I mean, we have a society where it's like shoot for the moon and type of vibes. So I understand why it's being glorified, and I understand the values that people are chasing after. So we'll most definitely make a part 2 where I go more into depth, explaining perhaps why it is negative, what are the bad consequences of this, and then also going more into depth on a few positives, and then also expanding more on why these values are chased after. The values of good clothing, good lifestyle, good family systems, stuff like that. So I didn't really go much into depth today, but I feel like if I make a part 2, I can go more into depth on that. I'm just experimenting a little bit. So thank you for listening.